Madam Speaker, I'd like to quote a fiscal conservative. Quote, Canadians want to know that the principles guiding government are the ones that they share. Here are our principles. First, governments created the deficit burden, and so governments must resolve it by focusing first in their own backyards, by getting spending down, not by putting taxes up. Second, our fiscal strategy will be worth noting if at the end of the day we have not provided hope. Well, our fiscal strategy will be worth nothing if at the end of the day we have not provided hope for jobs and for growth. We must focus on getting growth up at the same time as we strive to get spending down. Third, we must be frugal in everything we do. Waste in government is simply not tolerable. Fourth, we must forever put aside the old notion that new government programs require additional spending. They don't. What they do require is the will to shut down what doesn't work and focus on what can. That is why a central thrust of our effort is reallocation. Whether on the spending side or on the revenue side, every initiative in this budget reflects a shift from lower to higher priority areas. Finally, we must always be fair and compassionate. It is the most vulnerable whose voices are often the least strong. We must never let the need to become frugal become an excuse to stop being fair. End of quote. Madam Speaker, that was Finance Minister Paul Martin in his 1996 budget speech. Mr. Martin understood how to create jobs and growth. It was to focus on growth at the same time as getting spending down and not putting taxes up. It was to forever put aside the old notion that new government programs required additional spending. Madam Speaker, this budget in front of the House today does the opposite. The budget increases taxes. It increases spending and spends on consumption rather than on investment. And this is an approach the government has taken since it formed government in 2015. And it is not working. In fact, the government admits to this in its own budget. On page 25 of the budget document, there's a chart that's titled Average Potential Annual Growth in Real GDP Per Capita, Selected OECD Countries 2020 to 2060. In this chart, Canada is dead last. This chart is an indictment of the economic policies of this government over the last 6 years.